turn this to this. Really good tip: before you install any of the panels on the wall, it's best to mark out any of the studs beforehand. It can be handy to put a little bit of masking tape on the floor where that stud is, and then do the same with all of the studs. This will help you a lot when you're installing the unit further down the line. Sure that you have a sharp blade on there. So installing the slats is as simple as that. The next step is installing the unit. To install the unit, we supply it with a single batten like this that gets installed on the wall, and then on the back of the units we have a hook shape. This will allow you to put the batten onto the back and hook the unit onto it just like that. Gives you a really strong fixing. So to install the batten, you need to take a couple of measurements. So we need to take the measurement off the back of one of these units. I've already done this, so I know that this height here is 41 millimeters from the top of the unit to the bottom of this groove here, and then I know that my batten is 70 millimeters, so I've already put that on the wall there at the correct height. So I've measured for where I want the bottom of the unit, where I want the top of the unit, and then I've taken the difference off of that unit where I know where the top of that groove goes to, and then the bottom of this batten. So I've marked that on there, and then put the spirit level on the top so that I know that I'm level. From there, we just need to screw it to the wall. This is how you attach the unit onto here. So I know the centre of this unit is a 60-inch fire, so the centre unit is 1.6 meters. So I know the middle of that is 800 millimeters. So I can mark on here both of the sides. So now I can take the full centre unit, lift it onto this, holding it in, and then screw them from the inside into that. So, got my long screws ready. Now, because I'm doing this on my own, it's a bit more difficult, but we'll lift it on, hook it onto this batten, screw from the inside into that, and we'll be fine. So, nice and easy. So, we just need to finish off this one by adding any extra screws in there just to secure it in. So again, handy because we have our stud locations marked, we can just screw it right in. And that's perfect. That gives us an incredibly strong fixing in that centre unit. That'll never be able to move from the wall. For the side units, when you're installing them, you install them obviously to the side, but you screw from the inside of the middle unit into those just to fix everything together. So you'll do that with the 30mm screws. So lift up, sit in position, and then now you just need to make sure this area here and along the top is nice and level. Now we just need to do the same on the other side. The only difference with this side is we're looking to add that socket into the center of here. So we just cut a full straight line off of the back just to give us plenty of access into the socket. So you can see you've got access right there to the socket. We just need the doors and the frame and the worktop. So the doors, the frame, the worktop. So I always try and do the decor panels and then the doors afterwards. The decor panels are just attached with 3 screws. So we have one decor panel on this side and one on the other side. You'll just line this up to the back and the top of the panel. I've just hidden the screws behind where the hinge plates will go. When we install the hinge plates, they'll hide both of those screws. So the hinge plate will just sit right on top of that. So that's lined up nicely. One quick tip for installing the hinges: the Euro screw, which is this screw, is quite big when it goes into the hole. So you can set that into the hole and you put it in at a slight angle like that, and then that will mean that it will grip onto the metal and it will pull itself into the hole. So installing the door, nice and simple. Clip it into the top, push that until you hear a clip. Bottom one, push it in, hear a click, and then that will shut over. Push opens, nice and easy to install. You have a bracket in one of them and the push open in the other one. So the bracket, you just put this section, you take the screws that come with it, you line up this front section with the front of the unit and then screw it in. So lined up to the front. I usually just do the middle screw first. The middle screw has a slot so you can adjust the position quite easily. Push open, just slides through the hole and then clips in just like that. Test it, make sure it's working. If you need to adjust it, push it so it comes out, and then you can adjust the push open inwards or outwards by twisting it. For the fireplace frame, so for the frame it comes with these little white blocks. They're effectively angle brackets. Goes onto the bottom like that, and then you screw from the inside into your frame. So now that all the clips are in place, it's just for the frame to go on the front. You just need to line this up, usually with the bottom, and then screw it in. Okay, so there's now screws in this section here that is filling this whole section in the centre with the fireplace. So all we need to do with that is put the fireplace into there, But first, it's better to do the worktop. So with the worktop, all we need to do is screw from the underside into the worktop, and that'll fix it in place using the 30mm screws. So there's a 5mm overhang on either side of the worktop and the front edge, so when you're putting it on, just make sure the same gap is on each side. So the last thing to do with the unit is install the fire. So installing it in the unit's really simple. It just slots in place. You just need to make sure the cable goes in first. There's handles on either side, but it can sometimes be difficult to do on your own, but it's possible. And that's the fire installed. To get inside, there's two screws, one located on that corner just above the glass and one located on this corner just above the glass again. Try to avoid touching any of the glass inside or you'll need to wipe off the fingerprints. We usually tend to use the log effect, but you have gems as well. So those are... The glass just slots back into this groove along the bottom. So, fireplace is in. You just make sure that you push it all in, it's plugged into the wall, and then you can just turn it on like that. The fireplace has different colours that you can set it to. You've got your heating mode, but the different colours, for example, are these for the bed. So you've got white, green, blue, white, orange, blue, green. Then you can change the fuel bed as well, so you can change that to the same colours as well. The heating is the fourth button along. Push that and then it will go up 0, 0, and then low, low, and then hot, hot. So you'll know you're either on the low mode or the high mode. You'll be able to see it on the little screen here. And then you have the timer and different functions that you've got on the other side. For the heat function, we usually only recommend using it for about 15 minutes at a time. So the final thing to install is just the TV panel. This one we've got a 75-inch TV panel which was installed elsewhere. Normally the way that you would do it is pack a few pieces of wood or scrap material that you've got just for the height of the TV panel, and then that means that you can just set it right on top of the unit and then screw it to the wall and then you're done. Typically we go round about 80, 60, 70 mil from the top of the unit to where the TV panel sits. So we're going to pack out the TV panel, so we're using just scrap bits of wood that we've got, and that'll give us enough space behind that we can run an LED strip behind the TV. So we're going to run a strip along the bottom, a strip along the top, and then a strip down either side of where the TV panel will sit. So we just need to measure out the size of the TV panel, take it in a certain amount, and then cut it from there. The strips that we're using, we've cut them down to size by around about 50mm off of the edge, so that should give us plenty of space that the LED lights will still shine through, but we'll have a bit of play when we're putting the TV panel on the wall. We'll also need a strip along the centre of where the TV panel will be, just so when you screw the TV bracket into it, you've got something to support that as well. I'd recommend doing this with 2 people. So TV panel secured when it has 2 screws in it.